Yesterday, the Algeria's permanent representative asked a question I'd like your reaction to. He said, how is it possible that we can vaccinate these children, yet we cannot feed them? How can we secure trucks transporting vaccines, but those trucks cannot carry essential food? The inevitable conclusion is that this is not collateral damage, but a deliberate, calculated Israeli policy of starvation. What would be the Secretary General's reaction to those questions posed by the Algerian permanent representative?
Well, I would just repeat what I said at the start of this briefing. What the Secretary General has made clear is that crossing points must open immediately, bureaucratic impediments must be removed, and law and order must be restored so that the UN agencies can deliver life-saving humanitarian assistance. If we can do this in short periods of circumstances and have small pauses that allow for polio vaccinations, surely we can expand on this to prevent starvation and indeed the possibility of death. Yes.
Just to follow up on that, Farhan, who should restore law and order?
Well, in this case, there needs to be a number of actions taken, not just, obviously there's responsibilities for Israel, given its role as the occupying power in this regard, but there needs to be security on the ground. The sort of bodies that had previously protected law and order on the ground are not there, and we need to find a way of reestablishing law and order at a time when criminal gangs and looters have also been creating problems in terms of aid distribution.
Is this a collective request to countries to get involved? I mean, are you suggesting that Israeli forces then accompany humanitarian aid into Gaza? What does this really look like when you say for the restoration of law and order? Who's going to do it and how?
Well, ultimately,
some specifics.
We need to have there be forces on the ground that can ensure security. Normally, they've been Palestinian forces, but we'll have to see what can be worked out at the current at the current situation. Obviously, the thing that would help most is an end to the combat, which would then allow for there to be actual security restored on the ground. Yes.
The U.S. ambassador yesterday suggested that the Israeli military was going to look at a way to secure the routes to protect them from the criminal gangs or armed elements. Would that be satisfactory for the U.S.? For the UN?
The UN is in touch with a number of different parties trying to see what arrangements can be made. We'll have to see what is an actual arrangement that would work on the ground.
Would there be any concerns about neutrality with that?
There's any number of concerns in terms of, like I said, what would work on the ground in terms of ensuring that there's safety and security and that indeed people feel safe getting access to food and water.